Hi guys, and welcome to the AB Auto channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a service on the Hyundai i30. So I'm going to crack on with the video and show you how it's done. Okay, so I've jacked the car up and you locate the sump, which is here, and then this is the drain bolt. So make sure you've got yourself a catch can to obviously catch all the oil as it comes out, because you need to catch it into a pan. So also make sure that you wear some rubber gloves, because you don't want oil to get on your hands, because it's really horrible. So first thing to do is get a socket or a spanner and loosen this bolt off. So it's actually on quite tight, so I'm going to use a breaker bar to remove it. So I get my breaker bar and socket on. And just break it free like that. Then undo the rest by hand. So make sure that you've run the engine to operating temperature, because it'll help the oil drain out freely. Also make sure that you've removed the cap off the filler cap where you fill the oil in, so there's no air gaps. So you carry on taking this off until you feel it on the last thread, and then you just quickly move your hand out the way. Then as you let the oil drain out, it's time to locate next thing we want to try and find is the oil filter, which is tucked up under here, just there, and you need some oil filter pliers. So when the oil has finished draining, you get the sump plug, you put a new crush washer on there, and then you simply screw it back in. And then you snug it back up. There's no need to over tighten it. And then you just wipe any excess oil from the sump like that. You can use some bit of brake cleaner, but it's not necessary. So now you need to locate the oil filter, which is here. So you need to get yourself a pair of oil filter pliers. So you get yourself an oil filter pliers, and you have to rotate it anti-clockwise that way, and make sure that you've got the pan underneath to catch any oil. And then when you've loosened it off, you can use your hand to untighten it the rest of the way. So I've loosened it off, so I'm just gonna spin it by hand the rest of the way, and you can see the oil is starting to come out. So I'm just gonna And then when you feel like it's on its last thread, you make sure you grab hold of it like that, and you pour it into the oil sump, not the oil sump, sorry, the oil drain pan. And when you've taken it off, you want to make sure that rubber gasket is on there and that it's not left behind on the engine, because you don't want to double gasket it. So I'm just going to take my gloves off now. So that's the dirty oil out into the pan. So now I'm going to get the new oil filter and I'll show you how to prepare it for going back on. So guys, you get yourself your brand new oil filter. So gone with the Bosch one because it's good German quality. So the idea now is, because this oil filter goes up vertically, I'm going to pre-fill it. So when it, because otherwise the engine will starve of oil for a few seconds while it fills up. So get your oil, which is Magnatech. Now then, for a Hyundai i30, it recommended the 5W30A5, even though it does say it's for Ford, but it's also for the i30, so it is compatible. So I'm going to gently start filling. The oil filter up, and then also you get a bit of the oil here and you want to rub it round this gasket and lubricate this rubber gasket, so it makes it a hell of a lot easier to get it back off. So when you see the oil is filled up in there, I'm going to screw it back onto the engine. So I'm going to carry on filling that up, and then I'll get back to you when I put that back on. Okay, so the oil filter goes onto there and it screws onto that spine there. So I'm going to screw that back on now. Okay, so I filled the oil filter up, and I'm going to keep it like that and then spin it on. Sorry I can't show you better, I can't get the camera into this space to show you, but you'll feel it align, and then you've got to just be patient and try and keep it vertical until you feel it attached to the threads. And then when it's on there, you'll be able to feel it on the threads, and then you just keep spinning clockwise until you feel it stop. And then when you feel it stop, you just keep on tightening it about a quarter of a turn until it feels really snug. You never want to tighten these oil filters using any tools, you just do it by hand. So that's about the maximum tightness I can get by hand, which should be fine. So the next job now is to obviously fill the car up with oil. and start the engine and check for any leaks. So I'm going to do that now. So I found the easiest way to do this, if you grab yourself an old plastic bottle and you cut the top off, you make yourself a funnel like that, and then when you get your oil, you can just pour it in like this, and then the oil won't go everywhere. So if this engine takes about 3.6 litres of oil, so I'm going to start by putting in around 3 litres. So just check the level. So it's a total of 5 litres, so 5.4. Actually, I'm going to put in about 2.5. Sorry, I mean about 3.5. So when the level gets to about 2.5 on here, right, so the level's about 2.5. So what I'm going to do now is put the cap on. Screw the cap back on. Then I'm going to start the engine, check underneath for leaks, let it run for a few minutes, recheck the oil level, and then on the dipstick. So take the dipstick out, reinsert it. So at the moment we're about a quarter way full. And then I will get back to you when I show you how to reset the service indicator to tell the car obviously you've done an oil change. Right, so before I forget, just remember to recycle your old oil. So you can usually put this in a container, so just put it in like an old container, and then you can take that, you can take it to your local recycling place and they will take this for you. Just make sure you don't put it down a drain or anything like that, because it's harmful to the environment. So now I will be showing you how to reset the oil service indicator. Okay, so I'm inside the car now. So it's got a total of 49,000 miles on the clock. So what I need to do now is go to service and then oil reset. So go to Hyundai. Make sure you have the key in the ignition set to the second position, or when all the lights are up on the dash, so that scan tool will connect. So it's picked it up here, Hyundai I30 2014. So okay, and then service reminder. So I want to reset this to 7,000. So yeah, service reminder setting, distance at every. So either the next oil change 7,500 miles or 12 months. So whichever one comes first, you would redo the service on it. So if you want to reuse the displayed setting value, please press reset button. So I'm going to press the reset. Reset completed. Okay. So I'm not actually sure how I check this through the dashboard. It's not trip. So there we go. So now it's reset to service in 7,500 miles or 365 days. So guys, that is how you do a service on a Hyundai i30. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and help me out. So AB Auto out.